Looks to set the desert on fire. So get ready for a good old-fashioned Western showdown in the NFC East.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang.
After a slow start, Jake the Snake's bite has returned while the Cards' defenses put them in contention for the playoffs. In Dallas, Emmitt Smith and company have proven they still have the nucleus to fight a champion's fight. Sun Devil Stadium sold out and a place gone mad this afternoon. Not that many times can you say this place is sold out, but when the Cowboys come to town, it usually is. And today, an even more meaningful contest. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. If the Cardinals should defeat Dallas today, they'd move into a first-place tie in the NFC East. If Dallas wins, they'll take command of the NFC East. But as I said, John, it's been a long time since the Cardinals have been in a spot like this. How'd they get there?
Well, Vince Tobin and his staff have done an excellent job, and they've done a lot of it with defense. If you look at the defense, they lead the league in takeaways, and they do it by putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback and making him make mistakes, and that's what they're going to have to do today. Now, on offense, to me, they're all about Jake Plummer. If Jake Plummer stays in the pocket, he's an average young quarterback. If Jake Plummer moves around, bootlegs, gets outside the pocket, he is an above-average quarterback. And for them to win today, he has to be an above-average quarterback. And one more thing, when they punt the ball to Deion Sanders, they better have a whole heck of a lot of guys down there to tackle him.
That's so true. The Cowboys' main concern is about their quarterback, Troy Aikman. Last week against the Giants, he suffered this injury. Keith Hamilton sacked him, and that's what his finger looked like last week. That's this week. But the problem is not the cut. It's back on the knuckle of his index finger where it's very swollen and very sore. But in pregame practice, at least, he seemed to be throwing the ball very well. Now, what a concern. What about that concern for the Cowboys?
Yeah, I don't think that's a big concern. I mean, just watching Troy Aikman last week, after he hurt that finger, to me, he got better. In fact, he ended up the game 8 out of 8 and a touchdown pass. So I think that he's going to be fine today. He needs protection. Emmitt Smith running. And, of course, the Dallas Cowboy defense has to keep containment on Plummer.
Coming up, it's the Dallas Cowboys, the Arizona Cardinals from Sun Devil Stadium. And John and I'll be back for the opening kickoff when Fox NFL Sunday continues.
This opportunity, it ain't going by. We're going to take advantage of this opportunity.
It's a good day.
You got to love it. You got to.
Unusual. Here's the Dallas offense, quarterbacked by sore-fingered Troy Aikman. However, after he got that sore finger, he was more effective last week. His offensive line, Allen Newton, Flozell Adams, and Eric Williams, and Mike Kieselak starting at center. Clay Shiver is not even active. Out with a bad knee and a bad foot on the defense. And they're good. Simeon Rice and Andre Wadsworth, the outstanding rookie. Mark Smith and Rashad Swinger in place of Eric Swan. McCombs, McKinnon, and Miller, the 3 M's, the linebackers. Tom Knight and Williams, the cornerbacks. Tillman and Bennett, the 2 safeties. Aikman again to throw. Down the middle, caught by Billy Davis. First down. Emmett got 3 yards.
Watch this snap here.
Yeah, this is Kieselak. Don't forget, a new center.
And Troy Aikman says he snaps it back 100 miles an hour.
They blitz Aikman, knocked the ball backwards. I think his arm was moving forward.
You know, that's the type of pressure we were talking about, and that's why the Cardinals lead the league in football with 27 takeaways. Cardinals are going to come on a block here.
Looks like it. Bowen gets it out of there. Metcalf watches it bounce, and it's going to go out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. Just outside the 5. Great punt by Toby Gordon. The 80s. Jake Plummer on first down gets it out of there to his tight end Johnny McWilliams. Gets to about the 13. Let's look at Snake, of course, a local hero, played at Arizona State. He's had his struggles, but things seem to be coming together. Lomas Brown, Dishman, Graham Holmes, and Dexter in front of Jake Plummer. Adrian Morrell and Larry Centers, Rob Moore, and Frank. The front 4. Pittman, Leon Lett, Chad Hennings, who just made that play, and Greg Ellis. The three linebackers, Coakley, Strickland, and Godfrey, all three playing extremely well. Sanders and Kevin Smith, the corners, Stoutmeyer and Woodson. And here is Jake Plummer firing, got a man open. It's Frank Sanders who will have a first down and more. Knocked out of bounds, but there's a flag on the play.
Him in the pocket.
Illegal formation. 64 offense was on the end of the line, uncovered. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, third down.
Tackle as the end man, and of course he's ineligible.
Cowboys are showing blitz. And the pass is incomplete as Eric Metcalf was hammered. And they're saying he was down now, and the pass was complete.
He's running a slant, and he just comes in just as he catches that ball. He just has his hand right around his neck.
Hit by George Teague.
Watch George Teague. I mean, he just has his hand right up in there, and he's pulling his neck back. But they said that Eric Metcalf caught that one. Looked like he was talking to Fred Brock.
3rd and 15 screen pass, and played well by Dallas. Larry Centers took it. Omar Stoutmeyer made a heck of a play to break it up.
You know, Omar Stoutmeyer is really settling into a pretty good free safety. That's ever played football.
Deion Sanders. Scott Player is going to try to kick it away from him. This is a good kick. Deion dodges one. I thought he stepped out of bounds, but apparently he didn't. Lassiter down to make the stop. And does an excellent job in containing Deion. 0-0. First quarter.
Defensive lineman of the Cardinals, and Larry Allen, the best offensive lineman of the Cowboys.
Aikman again rushed, but gets the ball to Ernie Mills this time, and that's a Dallas first down. Same pattern.
That's that same pattern that he'd thrown earlier to Billy Davis.
Receiver set up. And Emmett Smith, the ball carrier. Emmett about 8 to the Cardinal 35, stopped by Jameer Miller.
Just say it's not because I'm stupid. It's to call the plays quicker.
Here goes Emmett Smith again. Breaks and stays on his feet, and Emmett down the sideline. Inside the 20.
Heck of a run by Emmett Smith, because he made the rookie Pat Tillman. They made him miss it.
Mills is the man in motion, and he gets the carry. Option to Emmett Smith, and he's going to score, I believe. Out of bounds inside the 5, about the 3.
That's Chan Gailey. No, that's Chan Gailey. That's the stuff, remember, that they used to do in Denver years ago.
Going to score, but he didn't. He got knocked out of bounds at the 3, and Chris Warren has taken his place. This is Emmett Smith I'm talking about. That's Warren, and that's a Dallas touchdown.
Yeah, they have Mike Kieslak at center now. Nate Newton at left guard. Flozell Adams at right guard. And he got right in behind that group. And look at this, Pat. There's more and more Cowboy fans as you score touchdown. Do you ever notice that?
Leads 7-0. A scoring drive, 5 plays, 57 yards.
See, now here's Chris Warren here. He's going to get the ball. Now what? These are the 2 guys that you have to get blocked initially, and then the next 2 guys on short yardage or goal line, if you're going to run in here, those are the guys that you have to get blocked. So you have that 4 right in there. You see the motion. Now you still got those 4 you have to get blocked. They get good movement there. They get a good lead block, and then Chris Warren just gets right in behind Moose Johnston.
And you got a good block from the new center, Kieslak.
Yeah, it was Kieslak, it was Nate Newton, it was Flozell Adams, and then the lead block again by Moose Johnston, Hennings and left.
Plummer looking and throwing, has his receiver Eric Metcalf. And that'll be a Cardinal first down. That's a good throw by Plummer.
Yeah.
Still. And he's back to throw again, looking in that direction. But so Larry Centers out of the backfield. Yeah. Randall Godfrey on the stop.
I think
at ankle. Here's the handoff to Morrell. And Morrell close to a first down. Less than 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Dallas leading 7-0. Here comes the reverse. They fumble it. And Hennings had a shot at it and got it on the rebound. That was not Hennings. That was Hervin McCormick playing in place of Hennings.
Yep, Hennings was there too. You see McCormick, yeah, it was both of them right there, but McCormick got the penetration, and he was there just as the handoff on the reverse was. That's the second reverse that the Cardinals tried to do. And watch Hervin McCormick. See, he just gets the pressure there. In fact, there's 2 of them right there. And then as Sanders went by, he left the ball there, and McCormick just saw the ball bounce right up to him.
Wide receivers. Emmitt Smith deep, and Aikman drops. Has some time and throws right on the money to Ernie Mills. Mills, a Cowboy first down. Aikman drops again. LaFleur at the 1.
Tight end involved, because as safeties start running out, to take care of wide receivers and stuff, they'll give you something in that middle. And here you see LaFleur, big LaFleur, he just takes off. Tommy Bennett was covering him. Tommy Bennett was playing his outside shoulder. LaFleur started in, kept Bennett to the outside, and then ran that short post. Pretty good to me.
Aikman. Moose Johnston.
Play fake looks pretty good too. Where you just fake to him and they're waiting for Emmitt Smith in there, and you fake it to Emmitt. Moose Johnston, usually the blocker, he kind of fakes like he's going to block. You see, he's right here. He's just going to come out into the flat. You see the fake there to Emmitt Smith, and then Moose Johnston coming like he's going to block, and then he just goes right out inside the end zone. But good ball fake there, good block by Emmitt Smith after he made that ball fake, and of course the Moose is just wide open.
Here's Plummer, swarmed under. From the outside, Michael Myers, and Artie Smith on the scene as well.
He's taking a lap around the field, either one, or he's going to the locker room.
Chris Warren gets the carry, gets 4.5, 5 perhaps. 14-0 as the seconds tick down in the first quarter. Aikman now 2nd and 6. And here's Emmitt. Emmitt surges ahead for a Cowboy first down. Jameer Miller made the stop.
Wide receivers to spread the Cardinals out and run at them. You can look at their script and what they did with their first 15 plays. 8 of them runs, 7 passes. But again, they had 14 different formations. And then one of those plays down there inside the 10-yard line was the old option play.
Emmitt Smith again, and room again for Emmitt as he surges for another Dallas first down.
And this is the one that's going to start it here. You see, he just gets his head in there and just take the guy the way he wants to go, and then finish him when he goes the way he wants to go, then put him where you want him to go, and that's on his back.
Already has 60 yards and 8 carries. LaFleur changes sides. And Aikman's going to roll this way with lots of time, going deep. Has Eric Bjornsson wide open, and Bjornsson is coming close to scoring, but doesn't quite get in, I don't believe.
Oh, that is something. That's the old throwback, and that'll get him every time, where you bootleg right across the field, and he's going to throw it all the way across. You see, here comes Bjornsson across the field, and he just throws it. And everyone starts to go. When Troy Aikman starts to go to his right, everyone goes to the right with him. So they left Eric Bjornsson wide open.
That's Emmitt Smith into the end zone for a stroll to put the Cowboys ahead 20-0.
And the last time they were down there, that's the one I was talking about, where you get in there behind Larry Allen and Nate Newton, and that's not bad over there. And the good pass by Troy Aikman. Watch Larry Allen, the movement that he gets there. I mean, he just knocks his guy. Did you see that?
Yep. Dallas. We're still in the second quarter. The Cowboys look very, very sharp.
Their first 15 plays, they ran the ball 5 times, passed it 10 times, and they used 13 different formations. So their idea was to come out and pass, open up the thing, and then come to the run. But I think, they went for some trick plays, reverses and stuff like that really gave them more trouble than have helped their offense at all.
3rd and 7. Plummer back to throw it, gets it outside to an open man. In this case, it's Rob Moore, and that will be a Cardinal first down. Morrell battling for yards. Godfrey and Coakley. Here's Plummer back to throw. Up the middle. to Gedney again, and Gedney gets down a pass. The Cowboy 25, finally taken down by Charlie Williams. First down, Arizona.
Plummer's trying to get his team up there to the line of scrimmage to hurry up, to not let the defense get set. Here he just hits Gedney right in the middle. Now, Gedney does the smart thing. Just take it straight up the middle. Just go there. Don't be cutting outside or anything. See, he gets the ball here. Now just turn your shoulder square and just run right up to the goalpost.
9. No blitz. Quick delivery to Rob Moore. Incomplete.
The teams are throwing that slant pass so much now that I think the corners are starting to play it better than the wide receivers.
Trying to get the Cardinals on the scoreboard from 40 yards out. That's going to be far enough and no good. They don't get on the scoreboard. Far enough, but wide left. 21-0, 8:51 left before halftime.
Trouble with Minnesota up in Minnesota, and this year Minnesota beat Green Bay in Green Bay.
Here's Emmitt Smith. Swinger.
And then how about Randall? How about Randall Cunningham coming back? I mean, that's amazing. I mean, the surgery and guys and how they can come back. And at some point you have to say that the Atlanta Falcons and the Minnesota Vikings are for real.
Aikman. LaFleur. Spins ahead for a Cowboy first down. Stopped by Tillman. Eric Williams back in the offensive.
Oh yeah, a blimp is slower than a bus because a blimp hovers.
Outside Emmitt Smith. And the Cardinals, Ronald McKinnon played it extremely well.
One thing in this game, the tricks aren't working today. Have you noticed that? All your guys in the game.
This is 4 wide receivers in the shotgun formation. 5 wide receivers make it. The Cardinals not showing blitz.
What they call an empty backfield.
And Aikman just does get it out of there. This is Patrick Jeffers, who made the catch, just activated this week.
And this is a guy that Troy Aikman really likes. They got him just before the regular season started from Denver. Hill and they pile on the guy. Yeah, that's King of the Hill piling on at the end.
Plummer. Incomplete, and tried to drop it off for Moore. Flag on the play.
Pulls like foreign objects out, and then that makes you eat
87
bees.
offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Johnny McWilliams, the man penalized. There's Plummer. And Deion Sanders stepped in front of him and picked it off. Real loaded asleep. Deion doesn't get in, I don't think, by about a yard.
And he limped on that one, too. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you're going to work on Deion Sanders, you're going to get one. But the second time you go to it, he's going to get it. Yeah. Again, like I was saying, these corners are starting to play that slant better than the receivers are running it, and the quarterbacks are throwing it. Deion Sanders was just looking in there. He's looking in there at that 3-step drop, and now watch Deion. He just beats him to the point because he was looking in at Jake Plummer, and he keyed the drop and the look. Jake Plummer took it.
And Emmitt gets another carry. Remember, he just tied Walter Payton on the touchdown list, and he scores this time. Touchdown Emmitt. That's his second of the day, and he moves ahead of the great.
And look at Flozell Adams and how happy he is. That's what you get as a lineman. You get the thing when they run goal line and they run in behind you, and you're able to get a double team and get the guy down and get him going back and create the hole so the guy can score a touchdown. That's why you play offensive line.
Not only does Emmitt Smith move ahead of Walter Payton, he ties Jim Brown.
Just tee off and drive. That's what gets a lineman excited.
Yep. It's funny, we were meeting with the Cowboys last night, walked outside, and there was Emmitt sitting in the hallway all by himself.
Coach Gailey was one of the best things that could have happened for all of us, because in terms of turning the system itself around, because we was locked and loaded in the same system for a period of 8 years. Now, well, it's actually 7 years, and now we have something new. And I think that newness is what revived everybody.
It certainly appears to be true that everybody was revived.
Well, from a year ago, but that same system won him a few Super Bowls.
Yes, it did.
That system that North Turner brought in and Ernie Zampese had, they won a lot of games, and Troy Aikman threw for a lot of passes, and Emmitt Smith made a lot of yards.
Jake Plummer saw nobody in the middle. Deion Sanders, we saw go to the locker room early.
The first half was run for 78 yards, and the Cardinals only 6.
That pass is caught. Eric Metcalf again. That's Kevin Smith back in. They put a pad on his shoulder and rewrapped it.
But the Cardinals put something on this scoreboard.
Plummer chased and throws, and he has Frank Sanders this time across the middle. First down, Cardinals. And they only have one timeout left.
I learned that in 1969 from George Blanda. Always get the first ball, always take that field goal.
Plummer drops and throws. And the pass is caught by Sanders. He's out of bounds at about the 3, covered by Woodson.
He wasn't open.
3rd and goal. Here's Plummer again. Touchdown to Sanders.
He got that one out there quicker that time. Yep. He shortened his sprint out and got it out there quicker, and that's what the Cardinals needed. The whole thing kind of fell apart on them last year, and they needed someone to come in and put the pieces back together, because they still had some great players, some dominant players, and Chan Gailey's that guy, and he's come back in and he's putting it together.
So it's halftime at Sun Devil Stadium. A beautiful day here for everybody except the Cardinals. It's 28-7. Why is Emmitt Smith playing better now than he did in 1996 or 1997? I'll put that question to John Madden.
You know, I think it's 3 things, Pat. I think, one, Emmitt Smith is healthy. I mean, a year ago, he wasn't healthy. He had that bad ankle and he couldn't make cuts. Moose Johnston wasn't healthy. I think that's the second point. And then I think Chan Gailey coming in with a new system, a fresh system, and is kind of giving Emmitt Smith and his blockers and Moose Johnston and everyone around him a new life.
And I think, of course, you have to give credit to the offensive line as well, as Emmitt does.
And I think they're the same thing, that they're healthy too. I mean, that Eric Williams is back, and Larry Allen has adjusted at left tackle. I think Flozell Adams has really done a good job, at that right guard. And that whole thing, you take everyone's health and all those guys back together.
And to summarize the first half, Arizona, which has lived on taking advantage of the turnovers, capitalizing on turnovers, has committed 2-0 for Dallas. Dallas has gotten 14 points off of those 2 turnovers. Emmitt Smith has rushed 14 times for 71 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Michael Irvin doesn't have a catch yet today.
And the other big thing, it says there that the Cowboys, don't have any turnovers. The other thing, they don't have a penalty. The Cowboys didn't have a penalty in the first half. And then here's the big thing. This is what's really hurting the Cardinals. If you look on first down, they're only averaging 2.5. So that's part of it's a Cowboy defense, part of it is that Cardinal offense. Then that gives them that 3rd and long. So they're averaging darn near 3rd and 7. And it's tough to play against nickel defenses, and the Cowboys are one of the best nickel defenses in football, and it's hard to play against that defense, especially it's hard for any quarterback. I was going to say especially for a young quarterback. They're doing on defense what the Cardinals had been doing on defense.
2nd and 10. Plummer. Caught by Sanders. And let's send you down to the sideline to Kevin McCabe.
Well, guys, the X-ray results are in, and there doesn't appear to be any bone damage to Deion Sanders' left big toe. He was walking around without the shoe off, limping around. He told me that it wasn't likely he would return with the lead the way it is, but Deion, he likes to play possum, as you mentioned earlier, John. If the score shrinks a little bit, don't be surprised if you see 21 return in dramatic fashion.
Morrell trying to get the first down, doesn't get it. The Cowboys knock him backwards. It's 4th. And about 1.5 yards, and 4th and 1, and Plummer up under the center and drops to throw it. Hit just as he let it go, but gets the completion in front of Darren Woodson as Sanders.
I tell you, that's confidence in your young quarterback. You would think, short yardage, they'd run it, they'd get in split backs and small shoulder pads, but the key doesn't have a hat. I mean, he's wearing a A calf.
He is limping.
You have to have a hard hat to play this game.
The blitz didn't quite get to Plummer as he got the ball to Johnny McWilliams, and that'll be another Cardinal first down.
Stadium. They're going without no huddle.
2nd and 7. Plummer swamped. Godfrey first there.
Yeah, that was one of the things that the Cowboys talked about, that they took his eyes off him, and then he came.
Here's Plummer. The protection this time is good, and the receiver is wide open. That's Sanders, and Sanders trying to get around Emmitt Smith. And it's going to be 1st and goal, Cardinals. Back live, 2nd and 8. Plummer going to take off himself. And he's chased out of bounds at the 8, and there's a flag on the play. They had him by the face mask.
And that's the second time that happened. The back went to the left, and Jake Plummer went to the right to hand it off to him, and he wasn't.
The Cardinals trying to cut that lead. Plummer. Incomplete. I think it hit the defender in the back of the head.
I think that was Charlie Williams, and it did. Charlie Williams gets right inside of Rob Moore. You see, he's inside. Rob Moore has him beaten. Had that ball been thrown outside, that's a touchdown.
Yep.
He throws it a little short, and he throws it right into the back of Charlie Williams' head. See, because Rob Moore really did have Charlie Williams beaten, and he could have.
On 4th. Plummer looking for a place to go, and he won't get there. The flag on the play. Leon left. Plummer might have fumbled, and the Cowboys have it, but there's a penalty marker down. That's Charlie Williams.
Holding. 25 defense. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
See, and they started to work the left side. Here it is right here. They started to work Rob Moore. They started to work Charlie Williams, and they started to work the shade. I don't know that Rob Moore doesn't push off first, and then Charlie Williams pushes off.
2nd and 2.
Here's a play pass.
He's in. Mario Bates. Touchdown, Cardinals. Narrows the gap to 2 touchdowns. 28-14. The Cowboys haven't been on the field on offense in the second half yet.
Adrian Morrell was the starting running back for the Cardinals, but when they get down on the goal line, they bring in Mario Bates. And you can see Bates here. This is a little counter. You see, he starts to the right, then he's going to cut back to the left. That looked like he bobbled that thing a little, didn't it?
Defense will be challenged and see if they can hold up their end of it. As the offensive unit has put them closer. Here's Aikman. Gets it to LaFleur, and LaFleur carries a couple for an extra yard or 2. Pat Tillman.
Irvin to the slant point.
They need 2 for a first. Emmitt Smith might have gotten 2, but that's all. Mark Smith made the first contact with him.
David LaFleur is driving Chan Gailey crazy with that.
We keep saying we're trying to get him more involved. And Aikman drops the throw. The toss is caught by Billy Davis.
What a perfect throw by Troy Aikman. Aikman put it right in there. Tom Knight is number 22. He's the corner. Watch Billy Davis gets one little push, and Troy Aikman makes a perfect pass.
That's with that bad finger.
Yeah, I think that bad finger is just a thing that makes him throw better.
He really has.
He's been the coordinator.
Emmitt Smith, the lone back. Aikman wheels it outside to Billy Davis.
You know, Billy Davis, a week ago, I was looking at him, and he had his hair platinum. And, you know, people, it's a commodity. They trade him.
Platinum, yeah. Oh, yeah. Valuable commodity. That's Emmitt Smith. Cut down after it looked like he might break it by Pat Tillman.
Pat Tillman is an interesting guy. He was a 7th-round pick of the Cardinals, and he also played here at Arizona State. He was a linebacker, you know, like Darren Woodson was, but
he doesn't have his head shaved.
Yeah, he was an inside linebacker. No, he's the opposite.
Here's that option play coming again. Mills kept it that time and cut it upfield to the 15.
Well, you end up, if you're a stiff and a slow draw, you're going to end up in your back.
Aikman back to Emmitt Smith. Emmitt to the 10. And out of bounds at about the 7. First down, first and goal from that point.
Yeah, one of the guys that's still springing Emmitt Smith is Moose Johnston.
Yeah.
Help. You're going to see number 35 come in right there. So he just kind of gets caught up in there.
Been a hard day for cornerbacks. Kevin Smith with a bad shoulder, and E.S. Williams limping now. Deion Sanders unable to return after a bad toe problem. That was today. Aikman has hit 11 straight passes. He gives to Emmett again. Emmett gets a couple. Second goal at the 3. Emmitt Smith, his third of the day. He passed Jim Brown. He passed Walter Payton, the great Walter Payton, and he passed the great Jim Brown. Sometimes we use great too much. But when you talk about those two guys, you don't. When you talk about him, you don't.
There's going to be a day that someone is going to pass the great Emmitt Smith. That's something. I mean, a guy does something like this, and that's the last thing you need. I mean, you wonder why anyone would either bring a golf ball to a stadium to throw. And there's a lot of great fans in football, a lot of great fans in this stadium and all stadiums, but there's also some dumb ones.
Plummer out of the pocket, throws. Pass complete to Sanders.
It's one of those turf toe injuries. You talked about corner injuries, and 2 corners have 2 toe injuries.
Adrian Morrell picking his way. Sun headed down behind the stands, but earlier it was very warm. Here's Plummer. Has a man open. Gedney right in the middle.
Yeah, we talked about Frank Sanders in front of the safety.
Here comes the blitz. Plummer just lofts it, and the pass is caught by Metcalf. Charlie Williams.
Yeah, he saw the blitz. Now the blitz means that you're going to have man-to-man. Charlie Williams has no help. There's no safety over there. In fact, that one could have been interference.
Could have been.
He bumped him and hit him when the ball was in the air, but Jake Plummer makes a perfect throw there to Eric Metcalf.
Not a good idea. At the 15, here's Plummer back to throw. Throws outside to Gedney again, and Gedney's inside the 5.
And look, you see what Kevin Smith did? He took both hands and grabbed his head. Anytime that happens, here's Gedney. He's a tight end. They line him up as a wide receiver out there on Kevin Smith. Now, Kevin Smith gives him way too big a cushion, and then he comes up and misses the tackle.
Both hands, the touchdown.
Both hands have to go to the head.
Gedney, 3 catches, 67 yards. First and goal, Arizona. Plummer looks left. Touchdown. Rob Moore on the fade.
Or Andre Wadsworth.
Nope.
Larry Allen and Eric Williams have done a good job.
Here's Aikman dropping a throw. Drops it out to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt lost the ball, fumble, and a flag. Cardinals get the ball, but there's a penalty marker down.
And that's exactly what it is. So the Cardinals aren't going to get that ball. But that's the thing that has really helped the Cardinals all year is getting the takeaways.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, 95 defense, 5 yards, first down Dallas.
Jameer Miller. Emmitt kicked that ball out with his own knee.
Yeah. He just kneed that ball out. The penalty was on Jameer Miller.
Johnson. Here's Aikman giving to Emmitt Smith, who spins after he picks up a couple or 3. Pat Tillman.
He always had a double him.
And we talked to him yesterday, and he voted against Terry Bradshaw's facial hair.
Joe Green did?
Yes, he did. As they play together. Aikman gets it to Chris Warren. That's close to a first down.
Yeah, I was saying that we haven't seen Simeon Rice all day, and the reason you haven't heard from him is he's out there against Larry Allen, and
Aikman to throw again. That's Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt takes it to Cardinal territory, stopped by McKinnon.
Yeah, and McKinnon better stop him because McKinnon missed him the first time. He's going to come out. He has him right here. You see it, he misses a tackle. Emmitt Smith made him miss a tackle. Now McKinnon has to chase him from behind and catch up and make the tackle. Had he made it the first time.
Troy Aikman, who's hit 13 in a row. 1st and 10. Warren, the carrier. Warren gets about 5 in the shotgun. And here comes the blitz. And Aikman has it batted backwards. And he goes down. Mark Smith put on the pressure and got the hand up that knocked it down. Left. Plummer back to throw. Gets it out to Morrell. Morrell gets about 6.
Yeah, we're talking about the tackles of the Dallas Cowboys.
2 tight ends this time up. Plummer rolls and looks and is forced out of the pocket, and he's very mobile and finds a man down the field. That's Frank Sanders, and Sanders spent a lot of time out of bounds, but he's still got the chains moved and a lot more. 2nd and 7. 2nd and 7. Here's Plummer, and this time he can't get away. That is Hervin McCormick.
That's a second play Hervin McCormick made today. Remember earlier, you're going to see we're talking about the pressure. He just comes right up the middle. You see it, Jake Plummer felt a little pressure from his right. So then he was forced from his right, and then he had to step up, and he stepped right into Hervin McCormick. There's 9 catches.
Here's Morrell. And he is hit and knocked backwards.
By Darren Woodson.
Yep. They're showing blitz. They won't get there, and Plummer will have time and incomplete.
Moore's been pushing all day.
Yeah. Here's Plummer with time. Incomplete. That one sailed high over Moore. Plummer back to throw it, and he is sacked. And does get rid of it, but doesn't matter. The Cowboys will take over. Randall Godfrey put the heat on him.
4th down pass rush. Here's Randall Godfrey. Now watch him. He runs a stunt. You see Chad Hennings goes to the outside, grabs the center. Randall Godfrey just comes right around it, and watch him extend on Jake Plummer. What an extension right there. In fact, he extends so much he knocks his helmet off. That is a heck.
2nd and 9. Emmitt got a yard. Emmitt rambles ahead. That should put him over 100 for the afternoon.
He missed part of it, but for some reason in the last couple of weeks they've and the back and not Michael Irvin.
That's Emmitt again, and he's close. Mark Smith tripped him up.
But I'll bet you somewhere someone's going to say that, you know, that Michael Irvin has a streak going here of 117 games, and the blimp is when you look to the skies.
Yeah, I hope so. There's Frank Sanders from Plummer.
And they were working out there on Charlie Williams, and maybe just by being out there they'll stay away from that area.
2nd and 1. For those of you expecting to see World's Funniest, it'll be seen following football except on the West Coast.
Go hurry up, no huddle, and they get to call their own play.
Jake going deep. Sanders again is out of bounds inside the Dallas 30.
They have something going today. Jake Plummer and Frank Sanders. Watch Sanders right here. I mean, he is working here man-to-man against Darren Woodson, and he just out-muscles him there. He out-muscles him, and you don't do that a lot to Darren Woodson. But look at this pass and how it just drops right over Frank Sanders' shoulder and right over the front.
There's a friend of yours, John Robinson.
Yep, the ex-Los Angeles Ram coach, ex-USC coach, ex-Oakland Raider assistant. Great coach, a great guy.
Great friend of yours from childhood days, huh? Here's Plummer, chased by Lett, throws deep. overthrows Frank Sanders.
Oh, and he knows it too.
Metcalf, I beg your pardon, and there's a flag on the play.
On that one.
Just sailed.
Roughing the quarterback, number 78 defense. Half the
Ball
distance
against
to the goal.
Leon Lett.
First down, Arizona.
Well, that's Leon Lett there. You see Jake Plummer throws that. He's looking at that, and I think what they got Leon Lett for is a hit to the head. But here's what he's looking at, and watch right here. He has Metcalf. And he has a wide open, and he just throws him with the old deal where you need a step ladder to get on and get some kind of lick on him.
Plummer gets away from the pressure. Gets the ball out to Larry Centers. Been a quiet day for Larry Centers. I'd like to welcome those of you who watched Green Bay bomb the Giants 37-3 to Sun Devil Stadium, where the Cowboys lead 35-21. Jake Plummer trying to get the Cardinals closer. That's Adrian Morrell, and he does get closer. Touchdown Cardinals 35-28. Or 27, assuming the extra point's going to be good. 28. And you would expect we'll have an onside kick coming up. 29 out of 50 for Jake Plummer, almost 400 yards.
Formation, I would think they would run it to keep the clock going, and they do.
And it's Emmitt Smith, and he's going to get a first down.
Oh, that's a big run.
Is it ever?
Big play for the Dallas Cowboys. Look at Vince Tote.
Sports are Ed Gordon and David Hill. Third down and long, and Aikman to Warren, and the Cowboys will have to punt it.
And then throwing it. I mean,
getting away from pressure.
Yeah, I mean, not running all the way and running the ball, but running out and then still getting rid of the ball.
First and 10 at their own 22. Plummer
like this.
Chase out of the pocket. Pass is caught. Eric Metcalf gets out of bounds, stops the clock. They still have 45 seconds left.
Jake Plummer's thrown for over 400 yards today and 3 touchdowns.
Plummer again. Fires down the middle, and the pass is caught by Moore. Trying to get out of bounds. He's inside the 10. He's down at the 4. 23 seconds. Kenny Wheaton. Still plenty of time.
The ball down and get the clock stopped, which he will right here.
9 seconds left. The Cardinals are set. And the Cowboys now are set motion. And Plummer drops to throw it. And he can take off and run with it. Fires. Incomplete. 3 seconds left. One more play. Sanders, the intended target. Or he was the target. 5:28. The Cardinals at the 5 with 3 seconds left. And Plummer. Incomplete. And objects come flying out of the stands, but nobody indicates touchdowns, and the Cowboys have escaped this Cardinal onslaught. It was intended for Rob Moore.
Ooh, and I think they did escape one right there.
Yeah.
That should have been a penalty. The ball's in the air. You can't touch the guy. You have to be looking. Kevin Smith wasn't looking. That should have been pass interference. And then, of course, the time ran out. But the game cannot end on a defensive penalty. But the highs and lows of coaching, Pat.
An amazing finish, and Cowboys improved their record. 35-28. The Cowboys win it.